I don't know about you guys, but I personally would like to meet face to face the person who decided that the key to humor in any kind of cartoon or anime revolves around a childlike creature crying at the top of its bastard lungs. Because I don't know who that's supposed to be for, because people that don't have children hate the sound of crying children. It annoys them to no end. And the people who do have children also hate the sound of crying children because it fills them with all kinds of bloody anxiety of, oh, I hope that bloody child's okay. Is that my child crying? I don't know. Who likes the sound of children bloody crying? Aside from, weird murdery people, but we don't associate with them, do we? I just want to know. I just want to know who this kind of crap is for, because it's not comedy, it's not funny, it's not interesting, nobody wants it, it just pisses everybody off, and I don't know why cartoons and anime insist on adding it to their bastard program. Our episode begins with Brock spotting a poor unsuspecting woman looking out across a lake. He says that cliff is the perfect spot for their first meeting. Misty agrees, saying that when she meets Brock, she can just jump right off. Yep, you heard it. A joke about committing self-expiry in a children's cartoon. I guess that's why they called it the Naughties. The gang then spot a Marill and Misty tries to catch it, apparently completely missing the big pink bow on its tail. Misty mate, even 12-year-old Liam watching this for the first time could tell you that Marill clearly belongs to someone, but still she proceeds to twat the poor thing right in the face with a Pokeball. And don't for a second try and tell me she didn't notice the bow, it's right there. Misty's just an arsehole. We know this. In today's episode of What? How do Pokeballs work? The empty Pokeball Misty threw at Marill simply flies back directly into the palm of her hand. But how though? Like, how does this piece of technology know to fly directly back to Misty's hand as if being drawn by a magnet? Do the people of the Pokemon world have special chips implanted into their hands that have like a trainer ID number on them so that the Pokeball recognizes which trainer owns the Pokeball so it knows who to fly back to? Or does she just use the Force? Answers on a postcard. The Marill begins to cry, and that makes us all realize, oh, for God's sake, it's a crybaby episode. Like I mentioned before, Pokemon love to do this now and again. Throw in a Pokemon whose entire gimmick is just crying loudly. I guess market research says that kids find it funny or some shit. Because if you ask me, it isn't funny. It's piss irritating.
Actually, Liam, didn't you figure this would happen when you saw the episode title?
Honestly, I didn't, because I broke the cardinal rule. Never give Pokemon the benefit of the doubt. Brock manages to calm the Marill down, and once they all realize that Marill does in fact have a trainer, Misty picks up Marill and apologizes. Marill then starts crying again. Brock deduces that Marill must be scared of Misty for some reason, but Misty can't figure out why. Really, mate? You can't think of one reason why Marill might be afraid of you? You know, like pelting a Pokeball at its face? Team Rocket turn up with what might be their stupidest trap yet. It's a truck where the trailer breaks off, leaving just two robotic hands holding onto Pikachu and Marill outside the back of the truck. That seems like such a flimsy way of stealing them. Like, surely a cage or some kind of container would be better, especially on the back of a moving vehicle. Also, note there are two hands, one for Pikachu and one for Marill. But Team Rocket only just got here, so how did they even know about Marill? Were they planning to steal a different Pokemon along with Pikachu? If so, which Pokemon got lucky? I bet it was Chikorita. The little shit. When Ash stands up, the now left behind trailer tips up, but all four wheels remain on the ground. So just the bed of the trailer tipped up. Now that's nothing surprising, since a lot of trailers, especially ones used in farming, have tipping mechanisms. But one that tips towards where the cab should be? That's new to me. After racing off into the distance, Team Rocket get Meowth to slow the truck down as Ash and friends give chase, in order to allow Ash and friends to catch up so they don't miss the second half of their motto. I mean, say what you want about Team Rocket, but that's awfully considerate of them. Whilst James is asking Ash and friends how they like the sound of them apples, the rolling background of trees skips randomly, basically meaning that somebody didn't notice they'd run out of animation. You know, like when a GIF automatically loops back to the beginning. Pokemon, that's just sloppy, mate. Direct quote from James when Marill starts crying.
Why is it crying for crying out loud?
Wait, For crying out loud? Ahaha, he said the thing from the thing. Now, if you wouldn't mind doing the thing in this case is liking the video, sharing the video on social media, and leaving a lovely comment down below, that'd be great. If you can't think of a lovely comment, honestly, just leave something generic, like
Crybaby Marill is almost as annoying as those crybaby Natdexers, am I right?
or just comment the name of the secret Pokemon I've hidden somewhere in the video. And if you're new to the channel, thank you for giving my channel a chance. Please hit the subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you never miss an episode of Pokemon WTF Moments or Series Battles on a Sunday or anything on my channel. Thank you as always for getting us to 1.76 million subscribers. I know it doesn't look like that right now, but if you subscribe today, maybe YouTube will add that extra 0. And of course, don't forget to check out my Twitch streams or you'll miss out on stuff like this. Let's go for a Pokeball. My word. Who said it? Who said it? Of course. Who said it? Someone said it in chat. It went in the first Pokeball. I used all my Great Balls. Oh my god. So, for no reason at all, Meowth violently swerves the truck from side to side until finally crashing into a barrier at the edge of a cliff. Mate, what was the fucking point of that? Last time I checked, hearing a loud noise didn't affect your ability to drive in a straight line. Apparently, Meowth is an overdramatic little bitch. Pass it on. On impact, the two robot hands let go of Pikachu and Marill. See, I told you they were Team Rocket's worst trap ever. As Pikachu and Marill roll down the hill, Ash gives chase, but of course loses his footing and falls nuts first into a tree. It's official. Ash Ketchum will never be a father. When Misty, with Pikachu and Marill, falls into the water, Ash and Brock both panic and scream her name. Calm down, lads. This is Misty, a water-type trainer. She has 3 water-type Pokemon with her, 2 of which are competent swimmers. Plus, she's got a Marill with her. She'll be fine. Ash and Brock hear what sounds like a landslide as the girl from earlier comes running down the hill at frankly a ridiculous speed, leaving a massive cloud of dust and debris behind her. Apparently, this woman is a cyborg. Confirmed. The girl thinks Ash and Brock are Pokemon thieves, and as Brock tries to calm the situation down, he tells her his name and asks what hers is, to which she says,
My name's Wilhelmina, Brock.
and Brock, being the dumbass that he is, thinks her last name is the same as his first name. Yeah, he genuinely thought she was saying that her name is Wilhelmina Brock. Now, I know Brock's always been a little bit on the stupid side, especially around women, but there really is just no hope for this guy, is there? Now, I get that Misty has just rolled down a cliff, fallen into a river, and been washed downstream, so this is really the least of her worries, but mate, the poor girl crawls across a bank of rocks and pebbles with bare bloody knees. Have you ever walked across a pebble beach with no shoes on? That shit canes, mate. And she was crawling on her unprotected knees on them? Mate, Misty's pain threshold is insane. When Marill begins crying again, Misty yells at the poor thing at the top of her lungs to stop. Shockingly, this doesn't work. Actually, do you know what? This is shocking. Since this is like the go-to strategy for all the mums of screaming brats I see when I'm out and about.
Damien, shut up! You're not having a sick McFlurry!
Misty remembers that Marill is supposed to have super sensitive hearing. I bet you feel like a right dick now for shouting down its ears like that. Then again, this is Misty, who I think is about as capable of remorse as Genghis Khan was. Hang on a minute though. One of our protagonists remembering something about a species of Pokemon they've encountered before, without having to have it re-explained by the Pokedex first. What planet did I wake up on this morning? This never happens. Direct quote from Sophie when she saw this Marill trying to use its super hearing.
It looks like it's trying to shit.
And you know what? She's right, it does. Now, I know I'm not the only person who noticed this, but Ash and Brock's conversation doesn't really line up here. Ash says that he's sure Misty will take good care of Marill, and Brock responds,
And I'll promise to take care of her in sickness and in health, for richer for poorer, till death do us part. I do, I do, I do.
Wait, so you want to marry Misty, Brock? Misty was the subject of Ash's sentence, so you saying I promise to take care of her would, in this instance, mean that you're referring to Misty. Remember, if you're gonna add a new subject to a conversation, you really ought to call that subject by its name to avoid any confusion. Wilhelmina cries with her parasol down over her face like this, which means when Brock grabbed her hands and pulled them towards him, he absolutely twatted himself in the face with her parasol. It may not have happened on camera, but we all know it happened. Absolute numpty. Wilhelmina starts to to show signs that she might actually genuinely be falling for Brock. Another way of saying that is Wilhelmina starts to show signs that she might actually genuinely be a complete fucking moron. When Togepi finds Marill's ribbon washed up on the shore, Wilhelmina instantly points out that that's her little Marill's ribbon. I mean, it's just a ribbon. You can't really be 100% sure that that's your Marill's ribbon, can you? Like, logic points to it being Marill's ribbon, but you can't guarantee that it's not just a coincidence. Like, you don't own the only ribbon in the world, do you, love? There's bound to be tens of thousands of ribbons all over the Pokémon world. Like, we know for a fact there are plenty of Pokémon whose trainers insist on them wearing a ribbon. So yes, while logic would point to this being your Marill's ribbon, you can't be sure of that 100%, can you? And while we're talking about things that there are more than one of, did you know there's over 50 flavors of G Fuel? And what's even better is we've got another code boost, so code ACE will bag you 30% off your G Fuel order until the end of Monday the 25th of April, so bag those bargain deals while you can. I 100% recommend picking up the new flavor from Moist Critical, which is Divine Peach. It is kiwi, dragon fruit, and peach, and it's absolutely bloody fantastic. Definitely pick it up. Although right now, I've made myself a little shakeroo of clickbait because I really like cherry and pomegranate mixed. It's banging. Oh, that is absolutely fantastic. Get yourself some clickbait, get yourself some Divine Peach. You can't go wrong. Those are two banging flavors, but there's so many other flavors to choose from. Like I said, there's like 50 flavors of G Fuel. Go pick them up. Just remember, use code ACE at checkout and you'll save 30% off your order until the end of Monday the 25th of April. And of course, remember, G Fuel is for over 18s only because children don't need to be anywhere near caffeine. They're annoying enough as it is, and because it contains caffeine, drink it responsibly. Don't be a dickhead. So out of nowhere, Marill randomly runs away from Misty to go play target practice against a bunch of wild Butterfree. You know, as one does, apparently. But is this not really out of character for this Marill? Like, so far, this thing's been shown to be nothing more than a Mardy crybaby. And all of a sudden, it's like,
oh mate, come and watch me twat these Butterfree out of the sky.
Suddenly, a bunch of angry Beedrill turn up. So angry, in fact, they use their Japanese cry of spear rather than, you know, Beedrill. I guess these are Japanese import Beedrill? Either that or a lazy edit. I'll let you decide which. Misty tells Pikachu to use Thundershock on the Beedrill. Misty, mate, what are you doing? Thundershock is Pikachu's weakest electric attack. This Pikachu knows Thunder, for crying out loud. Even Thunderbolt would have been better. Pikachu's Thunderbolt hits all the Beedrill at once, because of course it does. Ash is a hacker. Confirmed.
Well, actually, I think you'll find Misty was the one who commanded Pikachu to use Thundershock.
Yeah, but it was Ash who trained it, so he's the one responsible for Pikachu's hacked moves. Although it did know Thundershock before Ash owned it, so maybe this is Oak's fault. Either way, Misty isn't the hacker, is she? If someone Wonder Trades you a hacked Pokemon, that doesn't make you yourself a hacker, does it? Not that anyone's making this argument, but somehow here I am. Now, Brock is concerned that if they find Marill, Wilhelmina will leave. But if they don't find Marill, Wilhelmina will stay, but she'll be unhappy. Wait, where did all of Brock's confidence suddenly go? Like, this is Brock, who thinks he's God's gift to all women. And suddenly he doesn't think he'll be able to keep Wilhelmina, a woman who is actually attracted to him, around? This character change is way out of left field for Brock. Like, usually at this point, he'd say something like,
"Don't worry, Wilhelmina. Even if your Marill's dead, you won't have to worry about your missing water-type Pokemon. I'll keep you nice and wet all by myself."
Maybe Brock's growing up a bit? Is this character development in Pokemon? Oh, I need to lie down. Ash says he hopes they find Misty, and Pokeshippers be like,
Oh my god, he says he hopes they find Misty, but he didn't mention Marill or Pikachu. That means he loves Misty the most. Oh my god.
or he only mentioned Misty because he was talking to Togepi, and that's probably who Togepi cares the most about. I'm just saying, you shippers don't half clutch at straws sometimes. Marill then runs out into a storm and nearly gets crushed by a falling tree, but luckily Misty saves it at the last moment. She then scolds it, asking,
Don't you know you could have been hurt very badly?
Mate, look at the state of it. It's already hurt very badly. After the storm clears, Team Rocket turn up and use one of their robot hands to shake the bridge that Misty, Marill, and Pikachu are on. But why though? Like, you can't even say that's an attempt to catch Marill or Pikachu because you're just shaking the bridge. And if they ended up falling off it, you wouldn't be able to catch them. So effectively, Team Rocket are just shaking the bridge because they can. Team Rocket are arseholes. Pass it on. After Meowth ends up letting go of his end of the robot arm that's holding Marill, Misty simply lets Marill out of the hand. Okay, sure, but if it was that easy, why didn't she just do that in the first place? Somehow, Ash manages to hold Chikorita with like a really casual grip, like he's carrying a bag of flour, even though Chikorita was holding on to Misty and Marill's combined weight, whilst they were down a cliff, no less. Ash Ketchum is hench. Pass it on. When Ash then tells Chikorita to use Razor Leaf, he does this really extra turning motion where he swings his arm round to point at Team Rocket. Now, I don't know if I'm the only one, but to me, it looked like he was just gonna yeet Chikorita at Team Rocket. You know, just like proper lob the fucker at him. So as you can imagine, I was quite surprised to find, oh, he's just pointing at them. So I guess we'll just ignore all the times Ash has been unable to stop Team Rocket in Johto because he's been unable to reach their balloon, when every single time he could have just got Chikorita to use Razor Leaf. Arbok and Weezing come out of their Pokeballs at the exact same time. But for some reason we hear a Pokeball opening sound just a few seconds before they come out, and then another one a split second before they come out. So what other Pokemon was sent out? Because surely the one right before they came out was them two coming out together, which means that another Pokemon was sent out a few seconds before. So who was that? Oh look, it's my boy! Misty made the right choice here. Fantastic. Can't fault her. Direct quote from Misty after Marill saves her from Arbok's poison sting.
I told you we make a great team.
Misty, mate, get it through your head, love. That Marill is somebody else's Pokemon. Stop trying to coerce it into wanting to be on your team. That's not very protagonisty, is it? Wait a minute. Pikachu's Thunderbolt causing Team Rocket's hot air balloon's gas burner to ignite, thus causing the explosion that sends them blasting off. Is this what I think it is? Are Pokemon giving a logical reason as to how Pikachu's Thunderbolt would cause Team Rocket's balloon to explode? They never do this. Is this character development for the writing staff? Chikorita gets jealous of Ash petting Pikachu because it wants all of his attention. Mate, I know I go on about it, but why did they have to give this thing a crush on Ash? Like, if they just explained it as Chikorita being desperate for all of Ash's attention because it sees him as its best friend like a dog does to its master, it'd be fine. But ever since they basically said this daft cabbage wants to fuck a human, I've never quite been able to look at it the same. Like, every time it's on screen now, I'm just like, oh god, not this creep again. Brock tells Wilhelmina that meeting her was one of the best things he's ever done, and Wilhelmina tells Brock she feels the same way. So why doesn't he stay with her? I don't get it. He stayed at Professor Ivy's place at the drop of a hat without even the slightest hint of any interest in him at all, and then he has a woman who is actively admitting that she's into him, and he doesn't even consider sticking around. Who are you? And what have you done with Brock? As Wilhelmina's car drives her away, Brock says goodbye for now, and then breaks down into tears, screaming,
I'll never see her again.
Huh. Would you look at that? Brock finally understands how this anime works. So those are my WTF Moments of Pokemon Season 3, Episode 16, for crying out loud. Let me know your favourites and any that I missed down in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Head to twitch.tv/AceTrainLiam for all of my live streams. And of course, use code ACE for 30% off G Fuel until the 25th of April. But until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.